we get the call and we get these 5 little fox kits. And it was a heartbreaking story because they were found on the road with their dead mom. Their mom had been hit by a car and had died, and they were there because they didn't know where to go. So they were brought in here. They were beautiful, wild little gray fox kits, and they wanted nothing to do with us.
Eyes clear, nose clear, mouth clear.
We did their health checks, their physical exams that every patient receives. They were relatively healthy. Mom had been taking good care of them until she was killed by the car.
WildCare really has a lot of programs that are designed to deal with whatever the inevitable issues are that can arise from animals being in close contact with humans.
We don't just save animals, we don't just teach children, we don't just protect the environment. We have multiple programs that work on touching all of those bases, and I think that's the most effective way that you can make change.
The cycle of programs at WildCare is really designed to go cradle to grave in terms of educating children very early about nature and how to interact with nature so that they're informed before they're even adult and able to really go out into the world.
WildCare's hospital saves individual lives, but WildCare's programs save more than just individuals.
All of our programs are designed to help people live well with wildlife. So there's our wildlife hospital, there's our environmental education programs where we go to schools, we bring kids out into nature, we offer camps, we have student volunteers, and over 40,000 people go through our programs each year. WildCare's nature education and environmental education programs are really based on the teachings of the legendary Mrs. Terwilliger, fondly known to all of us as Mrs. T. Her mantra was, teach people to love nature, people will take care of what they love.
What I do here at WildCare is trying to get people to connect with wildlife, and that includes not only school children, but also families.
One little girl said to me, you know, I was really afraid to come on this trip, and I really didn't want to come. And she said, I'm so glad I did because everything about it is so fun. And to see her make that transition from fearing nature to thinking that nature was a wonderful experience is really what it's all about. In addition to our educational programs, one of our most important areas is our wildlife hospital, because inevitably, as we have cars and people coming close in contact with nature, there will be situations where an animal is injured.
WildCare is one of the only centers in the nation that offers assistance for injured orphan wildlife 24 hours a day, so that at any time, if anybody has any questions, concerns, or issues with wildlife, they can call for advice.
We treat between 3,000 and 4,000 wild animals each year.
All right, good, it's not broken.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's a hook.
Yeah.
And most of them, the vast majority, have been brought to us because of negative interactions with people.
Accidentally hitting an animal with your car, cutting down a tree that had a nest of baby birds in that they weren't aware of. And most folks are so grateful to have a place to bring those animals because they feel horrible that this happened and they want to help and make things right. And WildCare gives them the opportunity to do that.
I know that if I wake up one morning and there happens to be a raccoon with a broken leg in my backyard, I can call WildCare, and that animal will be cared for. And I don't have to worry about it, and I can sleep better that night. It's simple, but it's a big deal for me.
The focus of WildCare Solutions is we combine advocacy, education, and problem solving to homeowners and businesses when they have conflicts with local wildlife.
WildCare Solutions service helps folks with animals in their house so that they don't hurt them or they don't end up creating orphans.
We're definitely encroaching on each other's spaces, and our territories are bound to overlap.
That could be bats in your chimney, it could be raccoons in your laundry room, any of those types of things.
It's letting them know that, you know, what's going to attract animals, it's either one of 3 things: food, water, or shelter. And if you provide those, either knowingly or unknowingly, you're going to have some conflict with your wild neighbors.
And very often animals are simply acting on instinct. It's very natural for a skunk to want to find a nice warm place to have their babies, but that might be under your front porch. And you can call WildCare Solutions, and we have experts who know how to come in, safely remove whatever animals have gotten where they shouldn't be, and provide exclusion services that will keep them from coming back in.
One of the programs that I am most proud of is WildCare's foray into the world of advocacy. The work that we do here in the hospital is so important, but it's just a symptom of the bigger causes out there.
One of the advocacy programs that we've worked very hard on is the use of rodenticides. As people use poisons to try to remove unwanted rats from their particular area, what they aren't realizing is very often those rats are then eaten by other animals further up the food chain.
We test every predator animal to find out what levels of poisons are in their blood, even if that's not the reason that they came in, because we're trying to compile the data and really make a case to stop the use of these horrible poisons.
It was a pretty amazing day. I've been here 14 years, and when I first started, we very rarely got gray fox because they were going through a distemper epidemic, so there weren't a lot of them around.
They spent 3 or 4 months here growing, learning how to forage, learning how to hunt.
And to be able to watch these animals that you know wouldn't have made it out there and then watch them released is truly amazing.
We had a couple of volunteers and staff members who had worked with them and basically set all the carriers out for them, and one at a time would just kind of prop the kennel doors open, and most of them were too scared to come out. They were cowering in the back where it was safe and dark, and we had to give them a little nudge, and then as soon as they figured out it was time to go, they were just gone in a flash.
Wildlife releases are really the symbol of everything that we do and why we do it. When all those people come together and know that you've done the best that you can do for this creature and it goes back home, that makes everything worthwhile.
The first time I visited WildCare, I began to cry. And I might right now if I'm not careful. It's just, you can feel it. When you walk in that gate, you can feel it, and you don't forget it. You see it, you touch it, and you know it.